Hi, welcome to the humerusknits podcast. This is episode 8, I think. And I wanted to make a quick video about what I've been up to for the past, 3 months or so. So, yeah, sorry for my podcast not being super regular. It's just, this past semester has been very stressful for a variety of reasons. Mainly because I'm literally leaving tomorrow to go into the field and do my research, which is exciting and terrifying. So I ironically have been highly stressed out, but not really made the time to do knitting and stuff like that, things that make me relax. So have done some things over the past few months, but it really hasn't been the goals that I set out for earlier this year. So I want to talk about a few of the things that I actually did achieve and a lot of the things that I bought, because despite not knitting as much, I have managed to buy plenty of yarn in the past few months. So I finished a few projects. I finished a series of hats, Jane hats, for my friend Stephanie and her family, which they love, that I will post a picture of somewhere around here. And what else did I finish? I finished these socks on my brand new sock blockers that I got in the mail a few months ago. I bought these along with a whole brand new needle set of metal needles from Knit Picks because I was working on the Iona dress and my damn needle broke. It was a size 4 needle and I was like, I could buy just one needle or I could just buy a whole needle set. So I, of course, went with a whole needle set. And so far I have to say I love these. These are great. I used to hate metal needles, but these are really, really awesome. These socks, they ended up really, really well. The only problem that I see with these is that the yarn, like I said before, was really soft, and it's a little too soft. It feels kind of like it might fall apart. So maybe in the future when I use this is a Loops and Threads wool, next time when I use these, perhaps I will not make socks out of them. I will make something like a shawl that does not need to be super, super durable. But I do like these. They're pretty nice. I actually cast on a few new socks for a few reasons that we'll talk about later. Another thing that I did was a few weeks ago I went to Florida and I bought some of this yarn, which is Bernat Pop, and this is Scarlet Sizzle, and I got it at Walmart because in Florida that's the only place you can really go shopping. It's the Walmart that's pretty close to the condo. The only place to sell yarn anyway. And I bought this because I wanted to work on some crochet with my mom. She's learning how to crochet, and so I picked up this yarn and started making her a nice shawl. This is the Sweet Pea shawl, and it's in the Stitch and Bitch Happy Hooker book, and it looks really cool so far. It's going pretty quickly. I think I'm probably going to end up needing another ball of this, but so far I like this. More than likely I'm going to have to order this online because I have looked here in Georgia at Walmart and all the other places, a few different Joann's, and they do not sell Bernat Pop near me. So online probably is where I'm going to have to get that. So it's coming along. It's only maybe like the 6th row of this pattern repeat, but I like it so far. I think it's for my mom, so I'm pretty sure she'll like it. It's has a hippie vibe. That's the kind of person my mom is. She's kind of a hippie. I have worked on the Iona dress. I'm not going to pull it out, but because I have probably about 4 more repeats to finish the skirt. So I'm really close to finishing it, but I have not worked on it consistently as much as I should in order to meet the goals that I had set up. So I'll probably end up revising those goals in a future episode or something. some of the other things I've cast on recently, very recently, like yesterday. Some socks for my hubby. And I'm making these in the some Fildar Lennox Sport Superwash wool socks. These are 100% wool. And I cast these on so that I have something very tiny to work on while I am flying for quite literally 9 hours tomorrow. My flight is 8 hours and 55 minutes long. Oh my god. And then that's just the first flight, because then I have to take another flight to Florence, and then I have to take a bus to the train station, and then I have to take a train to Pisa, and then I have to walk to my hotel, or my Airbnb. So this weekend is going to be so much fun. Just so you know. It's going to be a little crazy. So I cast on, these socks are just the vanilla socks that is from the Knitting Expat. I don't know what they're called specifically, but they'll be in the show notes. I have written all this up earlier. So I'm just making a few vanilla socks. These will be in this blue color, and then I have a gray color that'll be for the heel and the toe. And I think he'll really end up liking these. Just for fun to wear around the house. He doesn't usually wear socks outside, so. Anyways, I'm gonna make these while I'm on the plane, and then I have another ball of yarn that's, obviously this is gonna be more for me because it's all purpley and bluey and green. So I'm gonna make another pair of vanilla socks with the same pattern using this yarn. And then I'm also probably going to bring on the plane some size 7 double pointed needles and make this guy. And I've made another one of these before for my aunt. My uncle asked me to make it for my aunt. And it's pretty fun and it's pretty easy. So this is probably what I'm going to work on. This is the Dragon Scarf by Morehouse Farm. And it's a kit that comes with merino wool and this nice green color with like little eyes and the little snout tassels. And it was just a lot of fun to make. And I don't usually like making scarves, but this one was pretty darn fun. Only because it just changes up so much. You're not knitting like, let's repeat this 2-row pattern 5 million times. It's like, okay, you do increases, and then you bind off for a little bit, and then you do that over again. And so it's a pretty entertaining pattern to work with. I'm kind of concerned because I'm flying German Airways, the Lufthansa. I don't know how to say it. I'm a little worried that they're going to be like, no knitting needles, but I'm only bringing these size 2 knitting needles that literally are bent. Every one of these is bent pretty darn well. So, I mean, if this is going to be a weapon, it's going to be a terrible weapon, to be perfectly honest. Because it will definitely break before it breaks skin. And all of them are like that. They are all nice and curvy. So hopefully that won't be confiscated. And then I'm going to bring some size 7 double pointed needles that are also bamboo to make the scarf. And I don't think I'll have a problem at Hartsfield Jackson, which is where I'm flying out of, because I've been there a few times and they've never said anything about my knitting. Ever. And I'm not bringing any scissors. I'm only going to bring nail clippers so that I can use the nail clippers to clip the yarn. And I might bring a needle to weave in ends, but it's going to be a dull needle, tiny needle. So I'll tell you how that goes. Hopefully nothing gets confiscated, because I will be very sad if I have to give up my bamboo needles and ship them back or throw them away. And I mean, they're not sharp. They're very dull on the ends, so cross my fingers I can get them through. These are not the only projects that I'm going to bring, but I'm going to bring a few. These are the small projects that I'm bringing for the flight specifically. And then I'm also going to bring actual bigger stuff to work on while I'm hanging around. Because I imagine what's going to happen for this research is that I will be working Monday through Friday from like 8 or 9 in the morning to 5 or 6 at night. Whenever I have access to the stuff that I have to analyze. And then the weekends will probably be free. Probably. If they're not, of course, I'll work on weekends. Because especially with the bigger collections that I'm working with, the more time that I have, the better. But more than likely, I will have time off during the weekends. So I brought this. I'm going to work on the Delphine, which is these are the two things I think that I was supposed to bring anyway. But this is the Delphine from French Girl Knits, and I started it a while ago, and I have all the needles and stuff ready, and I'm just going to put this in my check bag so that I don't have to worry about my needles getting confiscated or anything like that. And I have a good chunk of it done, but there's a long way to go. It should be a pretty interesting thing to knit. This is in the French Girl Knits book. The Delphine dress, or it's not a dress, Delphine shirt. It's like a camisole. And then I'm going to do another one from the French Girl Knits book. And instead of bringing the whole book, I've scanned the pages and printed them off so that I can put them in just one little notebook. I'm trying to reduce as much weight as possible since it's going to be, like, I have to bring a giant suitcase because of the osteometric board that I'm bringing that's really big, and it just barely fits into that suitcase. So I don't want to bring things that are too heavy. And the two things I'm working on now are the dress, or that I was working on before, is the Iona dress, which is good, but it also is very heavy and takes up way more space than these two things. And then the bulky weight, like sweater, way too much space. So I'm not going to bring any of that stuff. I'm bringing smaller stuff. These are all like just camisole type stuff. And so this is some Karen Simply Soft. I'm going to have like 6 of these. And this is, or not Simply Soft. What am I talking about? This is a Karen yarn, but it's not Simply Soft. It's Karen Country. So 6 of these guys, and this is the Nadine pattern from that book, French Girl Knits. So it's a really cute, like, it looks like there are 2 panels that are knit first that have a leaf design on them, and then they're sewn sideways together to make the camisole. So the direction of knitting is going to be from like here to here for most of it. But it should be pretty fun to work with, and so these are the only 2 things that will be checked, and they're pretty small. They don't take up a lot of space. So hopefully I will be able to work on these, and I should, because if I'm done at 5 or 6, then the only thing I have to do is go back to wherever I'm staying, and either go out to dinner, which hopefully I will do less, because I get really tired of going out to dinner after a while, or cook something, which shouldn't be too hard. And so I'll probably have some free time in the evening to sit and relax and knit and do some stuff. So that's what I'm going to bring. The only other thing I kind of want to talk about is my new sort of mini obsession that I haven't had time to work on recently, of course. So much stress, so much things to do. But I bought this Loom, and I've started doing some weaving, and it's really cool so far. This is just all like scrap yarn that I have, but I'm going more or less for like with this particular piece, like land to sky to darkness or something sort of look. And I'm just doing plain weave right now, and some other types of weave, but not like doing any flowing anything. But I like it so far. It's really cool. I've watched a few videos online that have been really entertaining to learn about how to do this. And this loom itself I bought on Amazon. It was only I think $17. It was not that expensive. So It's pretty neat. Pretty cool little side thing to learn how to do. Obviously, I haven't worked on it in a while. So I will probably return to this one when I return from where I went, from Italy. So of the things that I have bought, there are a lot of things that I have bought. One of the first things I bought since the last episode was a few of these sweet rolls by Premier Yarns. They were on sale at Joann's a couple months ago for like 3 of them for 10. So I got 3 of them. I don't remember which 3, but I was like, what am I going to do with these? I don't even know what to do with these. I just wanted these for some reason. So I looked online at what other people have done, and I saw that some people have made little rainbow blankets out of them. And I was like, that looks really cool. So like it's a chevron rainbow blanket, and you just use like 6 of these in a rainbow color scheme. I think that's essentially what I'm going to do with all of these. So I got this, which is lavender swirl. And then this is butterscotch swirl. And I got blueberry swirl, which is really pretty blues. And then another one that's blues, but more tealy. And this is frosty swirl. And of course a red, which is wild cherry swirl. And then this is sage swirl, mint swirl. I knew it was something weird, like this does not look like mint to me, but it's called mint swirl if you're interested. So I'm gonna make a nice rainbow blanket out of these that I sort of more or less stealing somebody else's idea for them. I think that should be a nice like long-term project to work on, not anything that's going to get done anytime soon. And certainly I'm not taking these with me to Italy, so they are staying home. They're just way too big. Like 4 of them is gigantic. So that's what I got probably about February or early March. And then one day a few weeks ago I went to Michael's, and of course my big weakness in Michael's is clearance yarn. So every time I go there and there's yarn on clearance, especially multicolored or something interesting looking or pretty, I have a really hard time saying no. So this time at Michael's I got a bunch of these Red Heart Boutique Treasures because they were on clearance for like $3 or something, somewhere around there. So I got this colorway, which is Portrait. It's pinks and grays. Very nice. I don't know what I'm going to do with any of this stuff, so who knows. It's just for my creative process, I guess. You know, for me to sit there and think, what will I do with this yarn that I have bought? That sort of thing. And then I also got this nice green colorway, green and yellow. It's called Tapestry. So it's really pretty. And then I got 2 of the reddish, orangish colorway, which is also really nice. It's called Abstract. And then I got, of course, purple. Because why would you buy purple? This is called Spectrum. I got 2 of them. They're really, really pretty. I love purple yarn. Ironically, I don't think I've knit anything that's really purple recently, but whatever. And then in the same vein of purple yarn, they also had this Heartland, Lion brand Heartland on clearance for some reason. And I got these 2 purple colors because I did not have this before. I've had lots of other Lion brand Heartland, but I don't have this colorway. And this is Hot Springs. It's really pretty. And then they also, for some reason, had the mustard color on clearance, and so I bought another skein of this, just one. And this is Yellowstone. Really pretty. Love this yellow colorway. So, yes, I need to steer clear of the Michael's clearance section. Apparently, that's a problem that I have. And then, one of the other things I've done in the past few months is go to, I went to New Orleans for a conference, and it was a pretty good experience. I got to meet a lot of my colleagues and talk about a lot of things for research, and obviously New Orleans was a lot of fun. It's more or less like Disneyland for adults, because you go outside at 10 o'clock and everything is still happening. There's just people everywhere, and it's a big party. So it was pretty fun. I went to this yarn shop called the Quarter Stitch in the French Quarter, and it was freaking amazing. I had so much fun there. It was beautiful, and I may put a few pictures in here to show you how cool it was. You walk in, and from outside they have obviously a window display, and they have like big, huge skeins of yarn for like arm knitting, like skeins this big, gigantic. And you walk in, and it's kind of like, oh, this is my heaven. Because it's just wall to wall, like yarn everywhere, like within eyesight, and then the walls are covered in like cross stitch patterns that you can buy, and there's decorations everywhere for like things that have already been knit, so pieces that they have made already, and it's really, really cool. And so me and my friend Francesca went in there, and it was awesome. And so obviously, you know, my souvenir had to be yarn. Why wouldn't I buy yarn in this awesome store? And so when I bought it, I thought I was just buying yarn and they would put it in a bag, but no, this obviously looked a lot nicer a few weeks ago. But they actually wrapped it in tissue paper and wrapped it up with like ribbon in this cute package. And I was really impressed. And this is their like card right there that they put in there. And if this will only focus on that. Yeah, there you go. So the Quarter Stitch. And so I'm going to open this up for you guys to see what I bought, because what I bought was also equally amazing. So, and I have to add this to my Ravelry. I don't even know what it's called. So I bought just one skein. It was actually really good. And I bought this. Isn't this gorgeous? This is Manos de Uruguay, del Uruguay, Alegria, and it's a superwash merino and polyamide blend, and it's basically just enough to make a pair of socks, and it is beautiful. I am in love with this colorway. Totally in love with it. All the bright colors, the purples, the pinks, the greens, the blues. I had to get this. So I'm very, very excited for this ball of yarn, and hopefully we'll, when I return, make something really, really pretty out of it. So this should definitely be like next on the list of vanilla socks to make, because you don't really need a whole lot of pattern with something this colorful. So definitely this is the jewel of the collection of stuff I got in the past few months. Lastly, but not least, I guess, I bought a few balls of yarn. They look very boring, but there's a reason for that. At Joann's recently, I bought these beige colored Grande, Red Heart Grande, because obviously it was on clearance, because why wouldn't I buy it if it was on clearance? And then I also bought a ball of woolies, just plain woolies, Lambrey woolies, in a beige color. And the reason I bought these was for weaving specifically, because I have a whole lot of tiny little balls of partially used skeins that I can use for weaving, but I don't have any like basic colors, like basic beige, that I'm willing to sacrifice because they're not like partial skeins. So I bought these. I also thought this really big yarn would be really cool for making these types of knots, this stitch work, to add more texture to it, to the weaving. So these are basically base yarns for my weaving projects. That's basically everything that I have done recently. Most of it was buying things, obviously. So in the future, I don't know, since I'm going to be in Italy, if I will be able to upload anything while I'm there. Because historically speaking, every time I've ever gone anywhere in Italy, even though it says you have Wi-Fi, your Wi-Fi is more or less like hit or miss. It kind of works sometimes and sometimes totally doesn't work at all. And so I will try to upload some videos of how everything's going in Italy. And then the other thing I would really like to try to do more is to engage with people on YouTube, especially in the knitting and sewing and crafting community, because I'm really good at like watching, you know, people's videos or listening to them, which is inevitably what happens most of the time, but terrible at commenting. So I think one of the things that I'm going to try to do while I'm over there, since I probably will be watching a lot of YouTube, because YouTube works in Italy, not like HBO or anything else, basically. Hulu does not work. Netflix does not work. HBO does not work. But YouTube does. So I will be probably watching a lot of videos while I'm over there for entertainment purposes. And so I'm going to try to leave comments more and talk with other YouTubers, other crafters, maybe scout the forums of Ravelry, but I don't know how often I will have time to really do that. So hopefully I will have something up before I return, and that's going to be in early August, but at the very least I will record a few things while I'm over there, like take nice video of any interesting places that I go. Hopefully I will force myself to get out and see things while I'm there. My friend who is Italian and is going there during, I think she's there now in June, was like, you need to go places. So it is by no means a vacation at all, but I should try to make an effort to go see things I haven't seen before. So I will try to video some of that and take a lot of pictures, and I will share that with you guys hopefully while I'm there, but if not, when I return. And keep you guys up to date on the knitting. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you who sit through my insanity. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you later. Have a good 2 months if I don't see you. Bye.